The following is part 2 of the interview of Christopher Cecil in the Richard Allen case. Part 2 is conducted by Jennifer Auger. The court. All right, Miss Auger, Attorney Jennifer Auger. Thank you, Your Honor. Cross-examination of First Sergeant Christopher Cecil. Questions by Ms. Auger. Question. Now, First Sergeant Cecil, how do I refer to you? Answer, you can call me First Sergeant Cecil. Question, okay, First Sergeant Cecil. Now you said earlier the girls were abducted at 2:14 on February 13th of 2017, correct? Answer, I didn't say they were abducted. I just said that is when this video happened. Question, okay, you have no idea if the girls met someone they knew or what happened at 2:14 when the video ended, correct? Answer, I only know what's on the phone. Question, sure. So you can't say that they were or were not abducted. Answer, I can't say anything, you're right. Question, okay, now the ability to track movement on the phone you said came from Apple Health data? Answer, yes, ma'am. Question, okay, and the Apple Health data, does it show Libby German's phone leaving from Libby German's home to do you have a map? Okay, did Apple Health show Libby German's phone moving from her home over to the location where they got out of the car and got onto and walked onto the Monon High Bridge? Answer, I'm not sure I understand what you're saying. Question, well, you said that the cell phone tracks movement, correct? Answer, correct. And it shows movement when people walk. Answer, yes. Question, it doesn't necessarily show movement if you're in a vehicle traveling down the road, correct? Answer, the only way it could is if for some reason it would detect a movement as if like you went over a bump, right? Question, okay, so does it show any movement on Libby German's phone leaving from her home to the trail that day when they were in the vehicle, correct? Answer, and you're referring to the Apple Health data, correct? Question, yes. Answer, no, it doesn't. Question, pardon? Answer, it does not. The Apple Health data does not. Question, okay, because it doesn't necessarily pick it up if you're in the car unless something kind of significant happens. Is that right? Answer, right. Like if you hit a bump or something. Yes. Question, okay, are you familiar with the area around the south end of the Monon High Bridge? Answer, no, ma'am, I've never been there. I only know what I've seen on the news reports. Question, okay, are you aware that between the south end of the Monon High Bridge and the location where the bodies were found, there's an access road? Answer, I did not know that. Question, and the Apple Health data, the number of steps and the distance could have gotten those girls to somewhere on that access road, is that correct? Answer, not necessarily. Question, but it's not wrong, it's not right, you just don't know. Answer, correct, you're right, I don't know. Question, it's possibility. Answer, possibility. Question, now would you agree with me, Sergeant Cecil, that different information is transmitted to iPhone by different measures? Does that make sense? Answer, no, ma'am, I'm sorry, it doesn't. Miss Auger, Your Honor, I was told that Mr. Cecil, that he was going to be dismissed. Can I have a minute to find an exhibit that we had put away? The court, sure. Miss Auger, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I'm sorry. My exhibits were put away, so it's a little inaudible. Question, First Sergeant Cecil, I'm going to show you what I've marked as Exhibit QQQ, which is a hand-drawn map of the areas where the bodies were found. And if you can see this area right here, answer, yes, ma'am. Question, and we can highlight that is an access road. And would the Apple Health data get the girls somewhere on that access road, do you know? Answer, like on a specific point? Are you asking me like a GPS point? Question, any point. If they walked this distance and this many steps, they could have ended up on this access road, correct? Answer. So Apple Health data doesn't collect. It doesn't track GPS. Question. No, it doesn't. I'm not asking for a location. I'm asking if we start the number of steps that you measured. Answer. Alternative response. Question. Have you measured any of those steps? Answer. No, I haven't. Okay. Answer. I mean, I don't know who I don't know which girl would have been carrying the phone because, question, sure. Answer. As I mentioned in the deposition, if you're carrying my phone and you give it to me, you walk away different steps than I do because I may be a little bit taller than you and have different stride than what you would have. Question, sure. And the steps are more accurate than the actual distance in that iPhone reports. Would you agree with that? Answer, I'm not sure. I've got that written down in my notes, but I can't recollect that right now off the top of my head. Question, okay. Answer, Miss Auger? Question, yes. Answer, I apologize. Question, no, you're fine. It's a tough one. Answer, to answer your question, from my research preparing for this other examination, both of them are going to be correct according to research that's been done by other police officers who wrote a white paper on this. Question. Okay, so the distance will be as accurate as the number of steps. Answer. From this research that's been done by another law enforcement officer out of Europe, because I have the paper, it's part of my research that I've done for examination. Question. Okay, and just to be clear, your testimony is that the distance traveled will be as accurate as the number of steps? Answer. I'm not saying... I'm just telling you what I've learned. I'm not saying that I know that for a fact. I do not know that for a fact. Question. Okay. And would you agree with me that hearkening back to your testimony 2 minutes prior, if one individual has a different stride? Answer. Correct. Question. Then this number of steps will be different than that amount, the distance traveled. Answer. Correct. Question. Now, your gray key report that you did in 2019 for your report that you did in 2019, do you recall that? Answer, you mean my written report? Question, your written report. Answer, okay. Question, it admitted an exhibit. It labeled defendants but I don't. Miss Auger, Your Honor, do you have the exhibit? The court, no. Miss Auger, the gray key report? The court, no. Miss Auger, no? Mr. McClellan, it was admitted as an exhibit. Mr. Auger, okay. Miss Auger, okay. The court, I don't have it. First Sergeant Cecil, I'm going to show you what has been marked as defendants RRR. Answer, okay. Question, what is that? Answer, let me look through it here. So this is my report, my digital forensic report that I had wrote back in 2019. Question, and you paid a lot of attention to that, given the facts that this is a double homicide, right? Answer, yes. Question, I'm sure you give attention to everything you do. Answer, yes. Question, and if you could, please look at page 10, the last line. Answer, yes, ma'am. Question, well, I want to back up to the middle of the page first. There is an all caps that says LG. There's a little notation there. I don't know what is 38A158. You see that? Answer, yeah. The LG tilde 38A. Yes, ma'am. Question, tilde, thank you. And what did you note there? Answer, it's a picture of the Monon High Bridge, and it's like a picture that was uploaded to Snapchat, and the picture is just like somebody would be standing in front, like you're getting ready to walk across it. Question, I'm going to show you what's marked as Defendant's Exhibit SSS. Okay. Is that the photo you're referring to? Answer, it's not the exact one because this has got it's got written on it. Okay, right. All right. Is there a phone or a picture that you have learned of that you could not find LG's phone? Answer, yes. What was that? Answer, that was a picture of Abby Williams walking across the bridge, and it's kind of taken off like off an angle. Question, and that's posted on her Snapchat account? Answer, so my understanding from social media is that's what it was, and I was asked to try to see if I could find that by investigators. Questions, and you could not find that? Answer, I could not find it. Now, if we go back to page 10 at the last line of your report, answer, yes. Question, what do you say? Answer, so on the last line, February 13th, 2017, at 22:32 and 26 seconds, I wrote, last recorded data received by iPhone. The iPhone battery was likely depleted. Question, and what was the last data you mean was received? Answer, I'm looking at the data for that day, and this is, as I testified in my deposition, this was a mistake. I made a mistake. I didn't calculate other things. It wasn't looking into February 14th. Question, okay, but even if we don't look, so what you're saying now today, when you said May 15th, is that you don't believe the phone's battery was likely depleted? Answer, right. Question, okay, but did you also make a mistake when you said last recorded data received by iPhone? Answer, yes, I did. Question, okay, did you, said that, what data were you referring to? Answer, if you look on the next page right here, where I talk about it says after the phone, it stopped recording. It continued to function, meaning it's still powered on. I found no evidence the user physically interacted with the phone. The phone continued to receive iMessages, SMS messages, FaceTime calls, mobile calls, and other similar communication. In addition, several applications updated in the background. The activity continued until the phone battery was depleted. That's what I put in there. That's what I was referring to. Question, okay, and were you referring to a particular piece of data that you believe the phone received at 22:32 and 26 seconds? Answer, I do not remember. I don't know. Question, would you agree with me that an iPhone receives data in different ways, of messages in different ways? Answer, that's a very broad, you're going to have to narrow it down. Question, okay, well, so if the iPhone receives an SMS message, answer, right. Question, that is a short message service. Do you agree? Answer, yes. Question, okay, and that's transmitted by a cell tower, is that right? Answer, I get it. I don't know a whole lot about cell towers, how that is coming there. Question, okay, because it could be. Question, you testified that in your deposition. Answer, so it could be from a cell phone tower. It could come from Wi-Fi. There's other things that it could be from. Question, okay, how does an iMessage get to a phone? Answer, it could come from over the cellular NE, or it could come from the internet. So if you're connected to Wi-Fi, if you don't have cell phone service, if you're on Wi-Fi, you can get an iMessage. Question, okay, is it your belief that Libby German's phone was connected to Wi-Fi between 5:44 p.m. on February 13th and at 4:33 a.m. on February 14th? Answer, no. Question, and if it's not connected to Wi-Fi, the only way it can receive an SMS message is through a cell tower, correct? Answer, yes. Question, okay, and do you agree with me that if Libby German's cell phone received 0 SMS messages between 4:06 p.m. on February 13th and 4:33 a.m. on February 14th, 2017, answer, I would have to look at that. I can't. Question, okay, we talked about that in your deposition. Answer, right, but question, recall that? Answer, I vaguely recall it. Question, okay, what? Yeah, what do you need to look at? Answer, I can pull up my computer and question, okay. Answer, look, if the judge is okay with that, the court, that's fine. Answer, it may take a bit for me to pull it up on the report, but yes. Question, Sergeant Cecil, do you have the answer? I'm sorry, which question? The copies of your report? Answer, do you want your RRRR back? Question, yes, while we're waiting on you. Answer, yes. Miss Auger, Your Honor, I'd go ahead and admit Defendant's Exhibit RRR, which is his 2019 report. The Court, any objections? Mr. McClellan, no, Your Honor. The Court, all right. With objection, RRR is admitted. Without objection. Miss Auger, thank you. Answer, okay, ma'am, I have my computer up right now. Question, and can you tell me how your SMS messages did the phone receive between 4:06 p.m. on February 13th and 4:33 a.m. on February 14th, 2017? Answer, so 4:33 and 4, Attorney James Luttrell, what was the first time? Question, 4:06 p.m. Answer, 4:06. Question, on the 13th? Answer, and 4:33. You said 4:06 and 4:33? Question, yes. Answer, so there's nothing at 4:06, but at 4:33 and 31 seconds, from what Magnet is showing, that there is an SMS message, or 9 messages as it's referring to. And then it's the same one. There's 2 of the same ones here. There's another one at 4:33:36. There's one at 4:33:37, 4:33:38, 4:33:39, 4:33:40. There's multiple SMS messages at 4:33, but at different seconds throughout that minute. Question, sure. Answer, that's what you're asking. Question, there's 15 of them, isn't there? Answer, some of these may be duplicates because it'll show up as an iMessage, and it may also show up as an SMS. So it may be the same person. Question, okay. So the messages on your report that are marked SMS. Answer, Question, how many of them are there at 4:33? Answer, so question, AM on 2/14 in 17. Answer, are you counting the duplicates? Question, are there notes on 213 that show up as an SMS message? Answer, 213 or 214, I'm sorry. You're confusing me, ma'am. Question, did I say 213? Answer, yes, ma'am. Question, I mean 214. I'll tell you what, let me do this. I'm going to show you Defendant's Exhibit TTT. Answer, okay. Question, does that help you? That is from the Cellbrite extraction. Answer, whose Cellbrite extraction is this one? Is this mine or Brian Booner's? Question, that is 2017. Answer, okay, I'm not going to be familiar with this. Question, okay, if it doesn't help you, that's fine. Answer, I can look at it, but I'm just saying I'm not familiar. I won't be familiar with this. I'll compare it. Mr. McClellan, Judge, if it helps things, the state's willing to concede that there were messages that came in at 4:33 a.m. on February 14th, and the court can consider that. If it helps move things along, I'm satisfied with that, Judge. I don't know the specific number matters, but the state's willing to agree that messages came in at 4:33 a.m. on February 14th. Miss Auger, I think the number's important, Your Honor. Court, okay. Miss Auger, I'm sorry. Answer, so I'm looking at this with Magnet, okay? And then there's one call that Magnet has not parsed. I'm not looking at it with Cellbrite. Question, okay. Answer, and I can show you which one that is. Which one is it? It's number 3 when I think it says Becky Patty Marchand. For some reason, that entry is not here. Again, this is the reason why you ought to use multiple forensic tools, because to put everything together, I've only got one of them open right now. Cellbrite takes a little bit to load on my computer. Magnet's pretty fast, so I'm trying to be efficient here for the court, but these other ones are fine. We're here. Question. Okay. And does that perhaps, so if we look at Defendant's Exhibit TTT, answer yes. Question. What that shows, 15 SMS messages on Libby German's phone, but you're saying you think that number 3 didn't go through for some reason, and in fact that box is blank and it says, what does it say there? Unknown. Answer. So what am I saying in Cellbrite? May I have parsed it? Because again, you're going off of something that I didn't do. But actually, when I'm looking at it with a complete different separate tool, it's not showing it here. So I would have to pull up Cellbrite and compare it and see if Cellbrite parsed it. Question. How about this? Can we agree, First Sergeant Cecil, that Libby German's phone received at least 14 SMS messages at 4:33 a.m. on February 14th, 2017? Answer, yes. Question, yes. Okay. And are those, and you agree with all of the 433 SMS messages at the top of the page, other than perhaps the number 3? Answer, what are you asking when I say agree? Question, you agree that Libby German's phone received all the text messages that this document shows, other than 214-217, other than perhaps the one on line number 3? Answer, yeah. Number 3 would have 2. I would have to do more analysis, but yeah, I would. That's what the software is showing. Question, okay, thank you. Now, what was the last SMS message received by Libby German's phone on February 13th, 2017? Answer, from what Magnet is showing here is that on February 13th, 2017, at 20:48 and 22 seconds, or 10:48 and 22 p.m., was the last SMS message. Question, okay, would you agree with me that Defendant's Exhibit TTT does not show that SMS message? It's only one page, so I mean, it would. Question, those are in, well, would you agree with me, sir, that those are in the chronological order? Answer, they're in reverse chronological order, but okay. Answer, yes. Question, all right. And if you look at TTT, what is the time of the last SMS message to the phone? Answer, here it shows it's here it shows it's actually February 13th, 17 at 4:47 and 33 p.m. Thank you. Miss Auger, move to Exhibit TTT to be admitted. Defendant's Exhibit TTT offered. Mr. McClellan, no objection. The court, all right. Without objection, TTT's admitted. Miss Auger, thank you. Question. So your data is even different from Brian Booner's data from 2017, is that right? Answer, yes, but I know why. Question, okay, why? A, because Brian Booner, after he did his exam several days later or weeks later, he connected to the network to do an iCloud dump of Libby German's phone, which would have automatically brought some of his data there. This is the reason why this is here. Question, now you have different software to analyze this data, right? Yes, okay. And let's go back to the SMS messages. Those are time-stamped by the phone as of the time you received by the phone, correct? Answer, what Magnet or Cellbrite are doing is they're pulling as if, you look right here. So that's my question. Answer, it's pulling it as it's how it's sent. Question, not my question. Answer, okay. Question, okay, when as an SMS message appears on a cell phone, it appears time-stamped as of the time it received by the cell phone, correct? Answer, no. I just had my phone in airplane mode and received a text message, and it was sent. I received it. When I opened it, it showed me when my daughter sent it to me. Question, an SMS message. Answer, iMessage. Question, okay, those are different, right? Answer, same thing. Question, no, okay. An iMessage is time-stamped as of the time it's sent, correct? It goes through the Apple server, goes through the internet, and those are time-stamped as of time they're sent, correct? Answer. When they're sent from, if you're texting me and you're sending me a text, yes, when you're sending it to me. Question. And I want to be clear because there are a lot of different things that people talk about as text messages. So you got SMS messages. Answer. Right. Question. That you earlier testified or transmitted through the tower of Libby German's phone is not connected to Wi-Fi, correct? Answer. Right. Question. Then you have iMessages, chats, Facebook. Those are all transmitted through server, correct? Answer. They can come through the tower because you're on the internet. Mr. McClelland. Judge, can I object at this point? And I guess I can. Ms. Auger, give me an offer of proof or show me how this is relevant to whether or not the third party can be talked about at the trial. The state called him just to establish the time of the video to cover the alibi of Mr. Holder and the other people that they want to name as third party. When you receive a text message, I guess I don't see the relevance, Judge. Ms. Auger, Your Honor, the relevance is that I think First Sergeant's going to get there. It's in his deposition if we need it. An SMS message is timestamped as of the time it's received by the phone, and an iMessage, a chat, is timestamped as of the time it's sent by the other phone. And so the relevance is, even though people were sending Libby German text messages, SMS messages, she did not receive those until 4:33 in the morning, meaning her phone is not connected to a tower between 5:44 and 4 on the 13th, and then it's suddenly connected at 4:33 a.m. on the 14th. Answer. I would agree with that. Miss Auger, and so the relevance is okay. Answer. I would agree with that, yes. Question. Okay, thank you. Miss Auger, and so the relevance is something changed at 4:33 in the morning to make that cell phone. The court. Well, why don't you get to that specific point then? Miss Auger, well, I'm sorry. The court, you're dancing around the field here because I'm wondering as well, what does this have to do with the third-party perpetrators that you are alleging? Miss Auger, okay, well, earlier I believe it was Jerry Holman testified that they have no evidence that Mr. Allen went back to the crime scene after maybe 3:30, and some that phone, it was under Libby German's shoe, under Abby Williams' body, according to the state, didn't move after 3:30. The court, okay. Miss Auger, okay. And your point is that something changed at 4:33 in the morning, that it suddenly connected to the tower? The court, and this witness can answer that for you? Miss Auger, he just did. The court, okay, then move on. Miss Auger, thank you. Question. First Sergeant Cecil, in 2019, when you first conducted your examination of the phone, what did you know about the crime? Answer. I knew 2 girls from Delphi had went on the trail, went for a walk, and then there was a video apparently was recorded of what was believed to be the last person that saw them, and then eventually later on they were found murdered. What I know about it was from what I read on the news, because I never given the access to the report. I was never given the access to the report, never read the report. Question. Did you have an understanding of the relevant time frame that you were to review in your examination? Answer. Yes, I was there to look to see if there was anything that would help identify, like, why they were out there on the trail, if they were meeting someone, anything like that. Question. So is it then fair to say you were only looking at data prior to 2:14 p.m. on February 13th, 2017? A. Prior to 2:14, yes. Question. Now, can you tell the court about Knowledge C, the database? Answer. So, Your Honor, Knowledge C is a data. Mr. McClelland, Judge, I'm going to object to that. I'm not sure what she can make an offer to prove. I don't see what the relevance is of talking about knowledge C in terms of third-party perpetrators. Ms. Auger, Your Honor, we'll withdraw it. I think we have what we need. The court, okay. Ms. Auger, I'll just let Mr. Baldwin make his argument and save the rest for trial. The court, okay. Ms. Auger, thank you. The court, any redirect, Mr. McClellan? Mr. McClellan, no, Your Honor, thank you. The court, thank you, First Sergeant. You may step down. This concludes the testimony of First Sergeant Christopher Cecil, given at hearing on motion in limina, conducted August 1st, 2024, in this cause. The State of Indiana, County of Carroll, State of Indiana, Plaintiff Richard M. Allen. Thanks for watching Deb's True Crime Notebook. We'll see you next time. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell for all notifications, share this in your groups and with a friend. And as always, we love to hear your comments. So please comment on what you think so far about the information you've heard from the transcripts of this trial or actually hearing.